Hey guys, Jay here from Reviver. Wanted to bring you a video with some content on the rower monitor, what the numbers mean on there, how you can utilize the pace times to better your workouts. So we broke this down into meters, when we're rowing for meters and when we're rowing for calories, because those are the two most common metrics that we use in our workouts here and most folks in fitness. So this is what the screen, now there are some different screen options when you get on the rower. This is probably the easiest one to read. It's got the fewest numbers on it. It's not very confusing. So this is the one I do recommend for most folks. But what you're gonna see here, this top number represents the time that you're on the rower. So it just starts at 0 and it counts up from there. The second number, this is the important one. This is your pace time. So when you're rowing for meters, it's gonna look something like this. This says 2 minutes per 500. So that is your 500 meter pace. That means that at that given time, with the effort that you're putting into it, that is how long it will take you to row 500 meters. Now, as you produce more power or speed up, that number will decrease because that means you're going faster and vice versa. Okay, the third number here, 375 M, that M stands for meters, so that means at that point in my row, I have rowed 375 meters. And this number here in the bottom corner, 31 S per M, that is strokes per minute. So that is telling me how many times I'm going back and forth in a minute at that given pace. So as I speed that up, that number is gonna get bigger and vice versa. When I'm going for calories, the monitor looks very similar. The top number is the same, that's your time. Second number, this one says 1100 cal per hour. So that is your pace for calories. That is showing you how many calories you would row in 1 hour if you kept that up. And obviously, as you speed up or produce more power, that number is gonna get larger because that means you're burning more calories and vice versa. The number here is your metric for how many calories you have actually rowed. So that says 29 cals. And obviously as you keep going, that will just keep going up. And then this is the same strokes per minute. I just changed the number up here, it's 29. So, but it means exactly the same as it would if you were rowing 4 meters. So what I wanna go over today is how we can utilize especially this number and this number when we're rowing. That is, again, those are the pace times, and we need to learn what those mean and how we can use them to better our workouts. So first and foremost, what I think you need to do is just become more aware and focus on that number as you're rowing. And notice what it is. Notice what it is when you're doing a warm-up. Notice what it is when you're going as fast as you can for a minute. Know what it is when you're doing a long row with maybe some other stuff mixed in there. And just kind of notice what it's doing. From there, what we can do and what I recommend is doing some time trials, doing some testing. And so we'll talk about meters first, then we'll talk about calories second. Meters, these are some of the big distances that we either will do in our workouts or that you'll see. So we have 500 meters, 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, and 5,000 meters. So if you were to take, don't do these all in one day, but if you were to do these over time and test them and see how long or how fast you could do each one of these distances and then record it. So in this example, if I tested these out, let's say I did this over a 2-week span, I got 500 meters done in 1:35. So now I need to figure out what my pace time was. What was my 500 meter split? And in this case, it's very simple because I just did 500 meters. So that means my split time was 1:35. It's exactly the same time as it took me to do it. If I then did 1,000 meters and it took me 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I need to then figure out, well, what was my split time for that? Because it's still measured in 500 meter increments. So in this case, if I did the math, it would have taken me 1 minute and 40 seconds per 500 meter interval during that time trial. Now you can utilize the Concept2 website, has some awesome calculators on there and a ton of information on rowing technique and other things. So I would definitely check that out if you're interested in more. So then in 2,000 meters, it took me 7 minutes and 16 seconds to do. My split time was 1:49, and then a 5,000 meter test, it took me 19:20 to complete, and my split time was 1:56. So as you can see, as the distance goes up, my split time goes up. And that makes sense because if I truly tested out 500 meters as fast as I could go, and then I did 1,000 meters, there's no way I could do it at the same split time. Because if I did, then that would just mean that my 500 test truly wasn't a test. Because there's no way I could sustain that time for longer if I truly gave it 100% effort, okay? So these are some common things. This is where I would start, is get some tests under your belt and see what happens to these numbers. And then from there, utilize that knowledge when you're going to do your workouts. So let's say, for example, that we have a workout that looks something like this. We have 1,000 meters on the rower, and then we're gonna follow that up with 50 wall balls, everyone's favorite, and then 50 kettlebell swings, and then another 1,000 meters on the rower. If that was your workout and the goal was to do that for time, would it be intelligent for me to get on the rower to do 1,000 meters to start this workout and do it at a minute 40 pace? This number right here. If I start rowing, and because I feel good, I'm fresh, everyone's doing this around me, I'm excited, I wanna go fast, and I look at that screen and I see a minute 40, there should be alarms going off in my head saying to pump the brakes, because if I keep that up for long enough, I'm gonna get done with this 1,000 meters and I'm gonna be smoked, because that's as fast as I could do it. So I need to use this number to look at that screen and say, oh, minute 40, man, that's real. I'm going really fast for me. Even though I feel good, I got a lot of work to do after this, so I better slow it down a little bit, right? And then that way I can get off the rower and I can go right into the next piece of the workout and be able to move and not already be completely deflated. So I need to, again, get some data for yourself, process it a little bit, and then utilize it when you're doing workouts in the gym, so that way you don't, again, crash and burn, like we say, in the middle of the workout. Okay, so same concept over here for the calories. You'll see we have some different calorie metrics, so 10, 25, 50, and 100. Again, these would be some good ones for you to test out to get an idea of what your pace time looks for those. So if they took me these time lengths, I did some math and figured out that this is how many calories per hour, or what I'm gonna see up in this box when I look at the screen. So if I know that for 25 cals as fast as I can, I'm at about 1,600 cals per hour, and I get in on the rower for a workout where I'm doing 50 cals, and then I have some more work to do after it, if I see 1,600 or higher on that meter, or on the monitor, that should be a sign to tell me to slow it down, because if I continue that up, I'm probably gonna do that crash and burn when I get halfway through my workout, which we don't wanna do. So the only other things I wanna mention here as we're going through is understanding that when you are trying to go faster, whether it's for meters or you're trying to do your calories faster, there are two main ways you can accomplish that. You can either increase your strokes per minute, so you can go faster back and forth, and or you can increase your power output and how hard you're pulling on the handle. So understand that there's more than one way to produce a faster number here and a bigger number here. Now, depending on the person, everyone's a little individual here. Some people, they're more power-based folks, and they just are stronger and just have more power in general. They're gonna probably be better off having a smaller or slower stroke rate and pulling harder each time. And the folks who are a little bit more endurance-based are probably gonna do better by pulling a little less hard on the rower, but going in and out a little bit faster on the rower there. And then folks who are in the middle are gonna fall somewhere in the middle. So play around with these numbers, see what works for you, but let's start using this to better our workouts so we don't get 4 minutes into a 10-minute workout and we feel crushed already. I hope that helps. Again, utilize the website here, concept2.com. They have a ton of great resources out there. You can always reach out to us, find us on our Facebook, Instagram, scroll our YouTube channel for more info, and always feel free to drop us a note. Hope that helped. Thank you.